G'day team, me back again, doing a little video on the UK schools and CV, so coronavirus, how it's affected the school system over here. Just a quick thing about me, if you haven't seen my previous video, you can skip, if you have seen it, skip over it. I arrived back in December 2019, so I've been here a year. Originally moved over on a 2-year youth mobility visa. I'm now looking to extend to an ancestry visa. I came over here with the intention to stay and make this my home. I'm a PE teacher by trade, but I'm also teaching a little bit of math over here at a school. My first year, as I'll mention, has been hit by CV, but before CV hit, still managed to get a whole ton of things done. Top right hand corner, I've got the Hofbräuhaus in Munich, which is awesome. Bottom right is East End of London, a whole ton of artistry and all the rest. A lot of it out, it's absolutely gorgeous. So a little bike ride through London, a little tour. This is actually a artist from Adelaide, funnily enough. Nightclubbing in Bordeaux, which is fun. Snowboarding in Austria with other Australian teachers. And then here's my girlfriend and me in the middle of January, believe it or not, in the snow. A lot different to Perth's 40 odd degree heat. So much prefer the snow over the heat. All right, so March 23rd, 2020, a day that no one will forget over here, that's for sure. The day that officially UK went into full lockdown across the board, and schools closed for the first time in forever. At first it was a crap show. There's no two dancing around it. It was panic stations everywhere. As it was worldwide, no one had any idea what was going on, what the best approach was going to be, and then obviously schools are then trying to think, well, what's going on? Like, well, how do we attack this thing? So schools had to deal with reassuring students of all ages at the same time. Us teachers are panicking on what are we doing? As well as obviously, there's been a lot of teachers panicking because they've got their own kids and all the rest, and now we're taking everything online, but not every school is prepared. So. And then the government's coming out with all these different things every second week of what we're doing. How it was a very confusing period at first, and even to an extent still is. So young students who had no idea what was going on were having to try and deal with the abrupt changes and the concern on parents' faces. And in all fairness, it was scaring them. There's quite a lot of reports from primary schools that the students were somewhat panicking, which wasn't ideal, that's for sure, especially if at home the parents are panicking, and then as teachers we're trying to reassure them. And then from high school's point of view, which is what I teach, year 11's exams cancelled, the uncertainty behind how their scores are going to be produced. Are they going to be able to obtain the right, have they got enough, as teachers, have we got enough evidence to then figure out like what score they should be given? Do we mark up on the premise that they would increase over the next 6 months until their exam period was, or do we just base on what we've got? How do, like, you know what I mean? So there was a lot of going on, and just obviously funny there from Hogwarts, all exams were cancelled. A lot of students, well, general students were panicked, well, just going, yeah, whatever, cool, sweet, don't have to do exams, awesome, happy days. Then there was a large portion of students who were panicking because they've been studying for ages, or they hadn't put their foot down just yet, and they were planning that from January through to July they were going to put their foot down and really knuckle down, and then they won't give them a chance. So that was a bit of a pain. The initial response, a lot of, well, our school at least, Prince Elizabeth School, we were on Google already, not to the full extent that we are now, but we were on Google Drives, Google Mail, Calendar, everything was on Google. We were using Google Sheets, Google Docs, and we're sharing documents all through Google anyway. But not everything was on Google. There was a lot of things still we had to then upload really quickly. We then had to then try and get all the students onto the Google platform, even though they've got all their own personal emails and they can log in. It was then teaching them how to use it and making sure they check in. And yeah, it was, in all fairness, it was a bit of a crap show at first. It always was going to be, and as it was worldwide. So it took a while to transition the students to the online system, and also there was a transition period for a lot of teachers as well, especially like myself who weren't on this system. As it stands, we still had a lot of key worker students coming into school. These students did all their work online, and they still do. And then there was this huge conversation kind of going amongst schools, like what's best, live lessons or pre-recorded lessons? So as it stands, I personally use pre-recorded lessons for every single one of my lessons, just like I'm doing now with you. Others chose to do live lessons, but then they weren't getting the same kind of success rate. And then, yeah, there's pros and cons to both, I'm sure you could imagine. So at point of recording, so mid-Feb, so actually the 19th of February when I record this, we're in full lockdown number 3. Key worker and vulnerable students are at school, along with learning assistants doing their work online, and all other learning is online. There's talk that we'll be going back on the 8th of March, which a lot of people are saying are too soon, and then we're not going to be able to get all students back in because there's going to be a phased return. And yeah, there's just all this discussion going on. The teaching board and stuff like teaching unions are pushing to get us fully vaccinated, all the teachers and that vaccinated. But what we've been doing as a school and as a trust, we've been starting doing CV testing at school for staff and students who are currently in school, and then are preparing for a full return. So when students fully return, they'll get tested once a week. This isn't all students, this is those who just want to be tested, and then staff who want to be tested. It's just there so we can have a consistent test. There's a little photo of me in the bottom corner in my full PPE kit helping out. I was one of the volunteers to help out. So I'm in there a couple times a week, even as now teaching from school, online, preparing videos, and also doing some coronavirus testing, which is interesting, that's for sure. So for me, London's my home. I love it here. This is my new home. I plan on staying here for a long time. I'm doing a few other videos of how I got here, how to attack the UK, how my opinion is of how to attack the UK, and then when you first arrive, what to do, and little tips and tricks. I hope to meet you guys, all of you guys, when you first arrive. Generally, provided coronavirus and laws and all the rest, we'll meet up in a pub and get to know you all. And yeah, I'm just a teacher over here, but it'd be nice for you guys to see a face who's been there and done it. And yeah, so hopefully I get to see you guys all then. So till then, peace out, have a good one.